Hello, welcome to our Wah BBQ Baby Bok Choy stir fry crash course tonight. In your kit, you should have a bag of Baby Bok Choy, a cup of soup stock, small cup of garlic, cooking wine, seasoning cup, and a potato starch for the slurry. You do need to provide your own oil. That is what I did not pack in there. So for starters, get our flame going. So you want to heat your pan up. Make sure your pan has a cover. Heat the pan up before you add your oil in. A lot of people ask, how much oil should I put in? 1 to 2 tablespoons. Depends on how much oil you're used to. For a non-stick pan, 1 tablespoon is usually pretty good. For a stainless steel or an all-clad style type pan, I would use a little bit more because those pans are not non-stick coated, so tend to stick a little bit more. You do want to make sure the oil is swirled around so it covers the whole bottom of the pan. And we're just going to let that sit until the oil starts shimmering. We've also had friends who have asked what's considered shimmering. It's when you see that kind of wavy glisten on the top of the oil in your pan. Now you can cook with whatever is comfortable for you. I tend to use chopsticks, especially when I'm cooking at home. You can use a spatula, it makes no difference. Whatever is comfortable for you. Once your garlic starts to look a little brown, go ahead and toss in your veggies. For the purposes of this video, I don't think I'm going to put all of the veggies in there. And I do suggest that you take your vegetables out of your packaging. It will be easier than what I just attempted. You want to mix your vegetables around so that you touch oil and garlic all over your vegetables. Once you get a good stir in, gonna add the cooking wine, swirl it around in a circular motion to cover everything, and then cover it. Give it a good 20-30 seconds at a minimum. Again, if your stove is lower heat or lower BTU, then certainly up to 45 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds, and more than that, half minute's kind of average. Soup stock, same circular motion, only add half the soup stock, really because you don't want too much water in there. And you're gonna cover it again and let it simmer. In the meantime, you're gonna take your slurry cup, starch cup, and there's a line where you're gonna pour some of the soup stock up to the line, and in a minute we'll give that a stir. As for your seasoning, you can pour all the seasoning into the leftover stock. Give that a good stir, mix everything up. The seasoning is a sugar, salt, and white pepper only. If you like using MSG or chicken bouillon for a little bit more flavor because you're not using soup stock or using vegetable stock. If you're using plain water, add a little bit of chicken bouillon. It gives it a little bit more flavor. That's an option. At home, we'll usually add sesame oil in this step also. Some people like to drizzle it on before we add the slurry. So covered, simmering, probably about 30 to 60 seconds. Again, that will depend on how high your fire is and if you're good at controlling it. I always mix the vegetables after I open the lid. Make sure nothing is sticking or burning on the bottom. Now we're gonna put the rest of our stock in here along with all the seasoning. For added flavor, make sure everything gets in there. I always take a piece of vegetable and swirl around on the inside. We're gonna, again, cover that and let that steep for a few more minutes, or at least a minute to a minute and a half, so you get all the soup and everything boiling. In the meantime, you're gonna take your slurry and mix well. Make sure there are no clumps in your starch. For this final step, you can leave it uncovered to cook a little longer. That'll help dispel some of the soup stock so it evaporates. Because I didn't use as much of the vegetables, my plate will be too watery for what we're doing. Then we're gonna make sure the slurry is mixed well. And once the sauce is boiling, you're gonna stir in the center and pour the slurry in the middle so it's not clumpy while it's cooking. And then let that come back to a boil so that the starch can thicken up the sauce. Mix it so that your sauce covers all of your vegetables. And at this point, your vegetables are pretty much cooked. You're just trying to make it look pretty. Turn off the heat, and you can plate.